Good morning, guys and gals. Gourmet Paul here in the beautiful Algarve, Portugal. This is my unfortunately last sunrise here. Spent 5 weeks here, traveling to Poland, the motherland, tomorrow. So next vlog will be from over there. In the last video, I shared my struggles as an adolescent and young adult with binge eating and self-image issues, and kind of how I discovered the drug-free bodybuilding community on the bodybuilding.com forums, and slowly turned a page to a new chapter. So I want to continue that journey with you here. I'm gonna go to my favorite little tower, take a seat, hide from the wind, and get started. Give me a moment. All right, nice and comfy. So if you caught the last video, great. If not, you can go back and watch it. But basically I share some of my history and how I essentially got to a point where I was on bodybuilding.com, which is an online community that really popular in the early to mid 2000s, where I was a very active member, essentially sharing my first bodybuilding contest prep. But more so, what I realized afterwards was it was a life transformation. And a lot of what I was logging there, the interactions I was having, both the positive support as well as the doubt, really transformed me in my early 20s. And I committed to this show about 50 weeks out after attending it the previous year. And I posted weekly, sometimes daily, updates, workouts, progress photos, the bad, the good, and essentially shared my life out in the open. This was before Instagram, before YouTube was really popular, so forums were kind of the social media of the day. And what I learned was that community is huge, and this is one of the reasons I'm getting back to social media, is to share kind of my current journey, which is more of a comeback after many years away from the lifestyle and the sport. And I'll share kind of the journey that got me back here at a later date, but I kind of want to pick up where I left off. So it's 2009, and I'm posting these logs regularly, finally coming into my own and starting to look the part, start working with some folks on there who are much more knowledgeable than me, helping me with my posing, my diet, getting feedback. And eventually I make it to the stage and I compete. Now, I competed in November of 2009. I was in Syracuse, New York. It was the OCB New York State Natural. I ended up doing both the novice category and the open. I don't exactly remember what my placings were. I want to say it got second place in novice, fourth in open, but it really doesn't matter. The placings are really irrelevant. You never know who shows up to these things on show day, so you just go there trying to look your best, and cards fall where they will. 2 weeks later, I actually had the amazing opportunity. During this whole journey, I convinced my little brother to prep with me, and he was much fitter growing up, so for him it was a walk in the park compared to me. But he ends up doing a second show with me, and that was the WNBF World Championships. This was a pro-amateur show. We entered the amateur division in New York City in 2009. Myself a middleweight, him I believe either was a heavyweight or a light heavyweight, and we both competed. And to this day, it's something I cherish, that experience of getting ready for the shows together. So I walk away from the experience with a couple of trophies, some great stage photos, but the biggest reward, if you want to call it that, was on a much deeper level. And I went from being a overweight young adult, young man who lacked confidence, hated the way I looked, and suddenly, you look like Adonis, and you have your chest puffed out, and you're on top of the world. That feeling doesn't last, though. The post contest blues are real. So you chase this goal for, for me, it was almost a year. You have this sense of purpose, and all of a sudden it's behind you. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate, whether it's bodybuilding, maybe it's a race, marathon, a triathlon. I know it's something that's very common with athletes. It's, you're all consumed by this pursuit, and then suddenly the thing is over, and you're lost. You don't have something to work towards. So for me, the the glory of the transformation was fantastic. It taught me a lot about myself, but it was a short-lived victory. And unfortunately, with my history of eating disorders and just unhealthy relationship with food to start as a young adult and adolescent and even a teenager, um, the process of putting myself in a calorie restriction for a year ultimately came back to bite me in the butt, and I very quickly rebounded. I gained back somewhere between 50 and 60 pounds within 3-4 months of the show. So by the end of winter in 2010, I was once again hating the way I look and feel. And at that point, you're metabolically compromised. So it's not like you could just start dieting again, right? After a year of dieting, your metabolism is not in the healthiest place. And this is a mistake that I think a lot of first-time competitors make, but anyone who's suffered from, unhealthy relationship with food and just has a history of struggling with weight is just more susceptible to. So that's kind of where I landed, and it was not a great place to be, both physically and mentally. At the time, you know, there wasn't anyone in the real world I could speak to, so I really leaned heavily on my newfound community of fellow drug-free bodybuilders, and slowly started to get through it. But yeah, this is another one that's getting kind of long, so to be continued in the next one. Have a great day. Cheers.